I am actually really confident that the leaders want to do a deal. It's always going to be challenging. There'll always be some domestic opponents in every country. President Obama is very bought into the process. He has invested a lot of capital. He was the president who said he was going to have the Asian pivot and look towards Asia. Overall, this is really the only game in town when it comes to trade, and I think it's an important one that we see the finishing line.
A scale of 1 to 10, do you see this happening next year? Is TPP going to come about?
Less likely next year and more likely this year. As you know, put it this way, if you start pushing into 2016, you're getting right into the heart of those presidential nominations and ultimately the vote for the next US president. It becomes a more contentious issue. It's difficult. It'll be particularly difficult for the Democrats. So it's not straightforward. I think it's one of those things where if they're going to do it, now is probably as good time as any.
You didn't give me a number though.
I didn't, but
scale of 1 to 10.
Higher than 5, I think that they'll do a deal.
Your central bank's cut rates in the last 3 months or so. Prospects fairly worrying there in New Zealand. Dairy prices, one of your major exports, have been falling. So what are you doing to try to mitigate what many see as an inevitable slowdown?
Yeah, the first thing I'd say is our economy's been doing well. So over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, we've really come through the global financial crisis much stronger than everyone else. So the thing I would say is that while a lot of focus is put on dairy, and while it's obviously very important, it's 20% of our exports, it's about 5% of our overall economy. We have a much more diversified economy than people think.
Regional security, a big concern. The concerns over China's rising military might as well. So the US has said they're rebalancing to focus on this part of the world. You've got the ANZ-US alliance as well. So what do you see as becoming the dominant force in Asia?
Look, I think in a way there's a place for everybody. I think that there is more focus coming from the United States into the Asia region, but there has been for quite some period of time. And clearly China is growing and emerging, and in amongst all of that you can see some potential tensions there in the South China Seas. I mean, our main argument to all sides of that debate is that we want them to try and follow the law of the sea. Secondly, we want them to take a considered view and try and find a negotiated way through, because in the end, these are incredibly important waterways for the transportation of our goods, as indeed they are for the region. And actually, we need regional security.